balance information, the details of that under the liquidity section of the report on bottom of page 9, top of page 10. The other thing I'll say, they've identified the fact that you have virtually no pension burden as a result of your participation in the state program. If there's any challenges, the two things that have been identified is you've got elevated fixed costs and debt burden, which is going to mean that as you go through time, what your plan shows is the ability to manage your debt burden within a range of acceptability, and in fact to see some of that decline as you paid off a good chunk of the debt that was what you might call legacy debt that's been incurred for major projects and major undertakings in the village that aren't likely to be repeated oftentimes in the future. So that's one of the things you do have direct control over. That's something that you have the ability to manage. The other area is the state levy limits. Here you still have flexibility under the levy limit law to some degree, but that is a constraint. It's not one of those that you have direct control over, but it's recognized by the credit rating agency. When they talk about things that could cause you to get a further upgrade, they talk about if your tax base grows significantly and if your debt reduces and your fixed costs level off. Things that could lead to a downgrade would be a tax base depreciation or weakening of your income of your residents, or growth in your debt burden if you go and end up incurring substantially more debt and increasing your debt burden beyond current levels, and declines in your reserves. So those are things that I think they've given you some guidance on.
And just one clarification, for modest pension burden, what is ours marked? It's like 3, or OPEB liability? Is it not the OPEB, that's for health, but what is our pension burden?
Don't recall right off the top, but it's, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 and some thousand.
Oh. Thank you. Does anyone have any other questions?
Most.
If the board chooses to vote on this, it would require a roll call vote.
Okay, so would someone like to make a motion if there's no other questions at this time? Do you want me to read the adjusted motion? Can I make a motion?
Yeah, so we're trying to. Is that a proposed motion?
I know we edited it a little bit.
Is it in the packet, that proposed motion?
Yes, it's in the document, the folder that I distributed tonight. It's the second document, and the title is Resolution Awarding the Sale of $6,360,000 General Obligation Corporate Purpose Bond, Series 2018.
You know, you guys have to pretend that there's like a really deaf person in the room who can't hear you.
Okay, we're trying to make a motion.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay.
Okay.
So I motion a resolution awarding the sale of $6,360,000 of general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2018A.
I second.
As provided in the Eller sales date packet, is that what you wanted us to add?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure.
You still second?
I still second.
Okay. Would you read back the motion, the full motion that was made and seconded, and then we will take a roll call vote.
Trustee Carpenter motioned and Trustee Warren seconded to approve the resolution awarding the sale of $6,360,000 general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2018A, as provided by the Ellers
Sale date.
sale date packet.
Sales day.
Sale date packet.
Okay, so we have a roll call?
Yes. Trustee Carpenter.
Yes.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
President Rosen.
Yes.
Trustee Amenta.
Aye.
Trustee Maher.
Aye.
Trustee McKay.
Aye.
Trustee Bachhorst.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much for the presentation
You're welcome, thank
and
you.
for all the good work that you do for us.
Thank you for letting us be of service to you.
Absolutely. So the next item on our agenda is to consider historical signage of the River Park, for River Park. And we have Mr. Dean and Marilyn John here to speak on it. Rebecca, did you want to say anything as an intro?
I'll let them come up to the podium and speak loudly.
I shouldn't have any problem doing that.
Was there anything in the packet about this item?
About this, what? Say it louder.
Anything included in the packet on this item?
There's one piece of paper was in there. It was titled Shorewood Historical Society, August 2nd.
Page 221.
Talk to you later. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Mr.
Good
Dean.
evening, President Rozak, trustees, and trustees on the phone. My name is Robert Dean, 3934 North Ridgefield Circle, and I am the current president of the Shorewood Historical Society. We have a gift that we want to make to the village. It is signage that would go in River Park, explaining the history of what went on in the southwest corner of the village. It's pretty much in line with what we have done in the past with the ghost train. That's our first signage and installation a couple of years ago down on Capitol Drive at the bridge. And I think the signs, I hope you agree, have been very informative and very nice looking. This will be basically follow the same type of format. It will be a historical schedule of what happened during the history in Southwest Shorewood. And this kind of fits in with our mission. Our mission is to educate the citizens of Shorewood about the history of Shorewood. And our intention is to continue doing these signs on a regular basis in various places around the village to educate the citizenry. And I think it will create, when we're finished with our project, I think it will create a wonderful walking tour in the village for the citizens. So it kind of fits a lot of things, getting people out walking and getting them educated about our history.
Excellent. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Dean?
I just had a sort of visual question. If
Sure.
aesthetically it will look similar to the ghost train with images,
Yes.
historical images.
I can't hear.
Sorry, my question was aesthetically, what will it look like? I just wanted to make sure that I understood that it would look like similar to the ghost train, or even some of the pictures.
Yes, we are following the same format. I do have, sorry this isn't bigger, and I'm sorry the trustees on the phone aren't going to be able to see it, but I can pass this around to the trustees that are here.
Thank you.
It gives you an idea of what it is. So it is following the same type of format. There will be lots of dates, pictures, and yeah, so it'll be the history of Southwest Shorewood was we learned some things. We did a year of research. Our education committee did a year of research on what happened, and we were surprised at what we learned. And so we hope that citizens will enjoy the same surprises.
Great. I have just a comment and a question. I was at the annual Historical Society dinner or celebration, and that's when the presentation on Hubbard Park's history, and I was quite surprised and fond of some of those memories that I learned about, which is there was a circus and then there was motorcycle racing, and it's just a little crazy. I didn't know any of that happened. So I think that the residents are gonna really, really appreciate your efforts, and I applaud the Historical Society for putting this all together. So thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question just for moving forward, not for tonight, but just on liability, and I know we're gonna be, as we get more and more things, it says in the letter that neither of our insurers would cover it, but I'm under the impression that if it's a gift and it's on public land, then our liability insurer covers it.
If there was an allegation, if there was a claim made against the municipality, that the municipality undertook some negligent act that caused damage or injury to another person, we would always tend to that to our liability carrier, and that would be to defend us pursuant to the agreement that we made.
Right, because it's our property, correct? Because it's being gifted. And so I'm gonna sign back, so thank you for providing this, because at least we have a documentation on who's gonna maintain, and I know that was an issue. I just wanted to make sure that we were covered when these are installed, as long as they're on public property, correct?
That's it.
Okay, that was it. Thank you so much. Does anyone have anything else?
Just a quick comment, I agree, I think it adds very much to the culture and character of the village, and I'm excited about the idea and look forward to seeing the signs.
Okay, thank you.
Do we need to make a motion for this? And do we need to adjust that language at all?
So just some clarification, we are not actually specifically listing it as something to be insured by your insurer, as like a piece of property that we would own. So from a liability perspective, we would be covered. The insurer has never represented that they're not willing to insure the item. I'm not sure if that provides.
It just says that neither the village nor the historical society will be insuring the signs
I think that it means from
like vandalism or theft.
yeah, like a perspective of,
Okay.
as opposed to your liability policy, your personal effects policy, where you identify
Personal property. Okay.
personal property.
Okay. I'm just gonna-
I can't imagine that that would be an item that we would have to specifically list. Generally, there's certain classes of property that have to be listed or exceed a certain value or contain a certain type of A, B, or C, but, just a sign in the park that, if it burned down, somebody tore it down or cut it down or whatever it was, unless it exceeded the value of our deductible or whatever our self-insured retention might be, we would just submit it to our carrier.
I would guess,
I mean, it's covered, right?
In this circumstance, Karen Picarchuk, who I had spoken with before, I inquired to her that if, and it was represented in this letter, that if there was vandalism or something which would cause the sign to be destroyed, that she had said that the Historical Society would be responsible for the sign repair or replacement.
That's correct. I mean, it's our interest and our mission to educate. If the sign's not doing that, then we're not getting what we want out of it. I mean, the reason we were putting the sign in is to do that, to educate the citizens. So if it's not doing that, we're going to fix it.
Can we just strike the last line then? Before I sign it, it's just because, thank you, I know that's the intent, I just want to make sure, I mean, then it just says they're responsible for repairing or replacing. Because I think ours does insure it, is my guess, because it's on our property.
I don't know that we're talking about a big number.
We're not.
I mean, we're not talking about
We're not, it's just.
we're not talking about,
She had talked about roughly about $1,000.
yeah.
I'm just thinking as we move on and do more, I'm fine with this, like I said tonight, I just feel like, we need to know what we're doing as we're gaining more things in our public record. Okay, so with that, do we have a motion? Sorry, I can't hear you, Trustee Menta.
Hello?
Yes?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Trustee Menta. I just wanted to make a comment that I obviously, I don't know what was passed out, but in the future when we're asked to consider things, signage, I would find it personally very valuable to have a representation of the proposed sign in the packet, for approval. I just feel a little bit blind, like, I'm not sure exactly what it's gonna look like, or, and so I'm gonna abstain on this because I feel I don't have enough information, but in terms of something at Wilson and Congress, like, I'd like to see exactly the placement and what the sign would look like when if further requests like this come to the board.
Thank you. Any other
This is
comments?
trustee Mark.
Yes.
I just want, has there been a clarification that all signs will be owned by the village and that at some point in the future, if we determine we need to remove them, we can just remove them? I think that was with the other donations, that it's clear that we do control the future of the things once they're donated. So we're not obligated in case of signs, there's problems with them 20 years from now, then we do control the future of them.
I had a